It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes. We are back for another show. Welcome here. Bienvenido, and welcome here. I am Dave Gramillion. Welcome to Get Your Geek On, where we will talk Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, all things really geek that have dominated this little world of ours. Geek, it's not really what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is now very much in. It is the in thing. It is mainstream. Geek is everywhere you look. And that is why we are here. Because if you're going to have radio to teach you how to manage your 401k and to do gardening and to do, fix your car and all that fun stuff, you got it for political talk, which we're not doing here. You got it for sports. Why not have it for geeks like us out there? And so welcome here to 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. theanswer.com. This is episode number 19, and tonight we welcome in a very special guest. Yes, indeed. I'm all excited. I'm all abuzz. Jeremy Bulloch will be our guest tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, the Mando, Boba Fett himself will be our guest tonight. I'm getting geek bumps. Just thinking of it. Not goosebumps, of course. Got geek bumps. With me in studio, as always, is my faithful companion, Goose.
I'm the only one allowed to get goosebumps around here, sir. That's
true. Very true. Peter is persona non grata this week. He's off. Actually, we don't know where he is. We're assuming that Austin did not get a hold of him like they did Goose and force feed him bad breakfast tacos. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. All right, tonight.
I don't like to talk about that.
Tonight, in addition to the Jeremy Bulloch interview, we have some Marvel news that we want to talk about. The Logan trailer, which is for what we know for now, the final Wolverine movie. The trailer dropped on Thursday, and we are going to do a reaction of it. Neither Goose nor I have seen it yet. And just like the Rogue One trailer that dropped last week, we're going to do a completely blind reaction video trailer, sort of reaction video here. We have some other news, including Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. That one dropped. Video game news. I am going to review the Sony PlayStation VR. I have it. I got the launch bundle. And, well, we'll talk about that in the second half of the show. Some DC news also to get into is Anna Kendrick of Twilight fame going to be the next Robin. Now, before you get into, oh my God, but that's the boy wonder. Well, hold on. Hold your horses there. We'll get into that. And also talk about a little bit about Supergirl versus Gotham, and is there a crossover in the works? We will get into that and more. But first, let me make sure that I have everything I need in order to do the show right. First, you got to have something to drink, because if you're going to talk for an hour about geeky stuff, your throat gets dry, you got to have something to drink. That works. I like having a back scratcher around. I don't think it's mandatory to have one, but seriously, how do you live without one? Because you got to get that spot right in the middle of your back. And of course, if you're going to do a geeky show right, if you really want to do it right, you have to have a lightsaber. This is all blue. Been with me for years. I love this lightsaber. All right. And also, we got to make sure that we're actually geeked out ourselves. I am currently wearing, although you can't see it on your radio dial, but that's okay, because if you're following us on Facebook.com/GYGOofficial, we tend to do every now and then a live video right there. So you can actually see us in studio, and you'll see that I'm wearing a Texas A&M Aggie Empire Stormtrooper t-shirt, because my beloved Aggies played Alabama. I didn't. No sports.
And no spoilers.
and no spoilers either, in case you haven't caught the game for whatever reason.
One of these days, I'm going to download that river.
Spoilers. And Goose is rocking a Superman t-shirt as well, so we are dressed for the occasion. We are good to go. So, with that being said, I want to get into a little bit of news before we welcome in Jeremy Bulloch. I want to remind everyone that last week, our guest was Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, it was.
That was awesome. That was fantastic. A really great interview. She'll be in San Antonio for the Alamo City Comic Con. Jeremy Bulloch is this week. He will be in town for the Alamo City Comic Con. And next week, we will have in studio, we will have two cosplayers in cosplay to talk about cosplayers at conventions like the San Diego Comic-Con, New York City Comic-Con, and Alamo City Comic-Con. The ups, the downs, the kind of harassment that they do face, and what it's like to take pictures with fans and getting into the cosplay and the makeup and all that. So that'll be next week as well. And then we will be rocking the Alamo City Comic-Con. We are going to live down there. I'm going to find a way to bring a tent and a sleeping bag like on the convention floor. And we're just going to live there. So you want to check the Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO official, because we will have photos galore, videos galore. I mean, from when they open to when they close and beyond throughout the entire convention.
Tent on?
Yes, I'm going to get my tent on. Very, very good. Very good there. That's cute. Okay. Also, I had the privilege. Quick shout out to Think Geek. They had a costume contest just earlier today. Between 5 and 7 o'clock, they had a costume contest up at their North Star Mall store. And those guys, if you haven't been to the Think Geek store, you got to head out that way. That store is fantastic. It is wall-to-wall geeky stuff. It's fantastic. I strongly recommend you head out that way. And I was glad to be a judge of their costume contest. I'm glad they asked me to do it.
So I have a question.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
How many times have they kicked you out at closing time?
Well, it only happened the once, and that was because I maxed out my credit card.
No, that's good.
No, it was really cool. The grand prize was a 75th anniversary Captain America shield. $300.
Nice.
It's what it was valued at. $300.
Well,
so,
we know it's not vibranium then.
Yeah, it's definitely not vibranium. Okay, so with that being said, let's move on to the meat of the show, to what everyone's looking forward to, the Mando of Mandos, the man himself. Let us welcome in Mr. Jeremy Bulloch.
All right, so Mr. Jeremy Bulloch, Boba Fett, the single greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy. I want to welcome you, sir, to 9:30 a.m. and 9:30amtheanswer.com. Thanks for coming on the show, sir. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much for the invite, because it's getting away from the cold weather, and I'm looking there, and it's obviously boiling hot, so I'll go along with you for that.
Yes, the reputation that Texas has for its weather is... Well, I don't know. I mean, we do have 4 seasons of weather like everybody else does. We have early summer, late summer, and about 4 weeks of winter. Don't think it's just summertime.
I'll get that in my special thing.
Taking notes. I love it. Now, speaking of San Antonio, you are returning to the Alamo City for the Alamo City Comic-Con here at the end of this month. Are there any sites that you want to see that maybe you haven't seen before? Is there something in particular that you want? I was talking to Tim Rose, who was Admiral Akbar, and he told me he wants a real cowboy belt, which you can certainly find down here. But is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Well, maybe a Boba Fett cowboy belt would be nice.
A Boba Fett cowboy belt. I'm going to have to look that up. It's got to be out there somewhere. If not, I'll find it.
Years ago, I can't remember where it was, but they did a funny thing of, being in a Western. What was it like? Because I love Westerns. And, I was pulling guns out and pretending to be Clint Eastwood. Fantastic.
Well, we certainly are the home of the Westerns down here in Texas, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I love a good John Wayne Western.
Yeah, I'll sort of hope it rains, and then I can sit down. My wife will allow me to sit down and watch a Western. Like, yes, come on, yes.
Are there any sites that you want to see that you haven't seen before, maybe the Alamo or the Riverwalk or some of the missions?
The Riverwalk did do, and jumped into that little canoe. It was a canoe. And that was lovely. I really enjoyed that. And then someone said, hey, they do English beer here, Mr. Bulloch. So I had an English beer, which was very nice, out of England. So I thought, they're getting better. The Americans are getting better. Yeah.
Well, we do try to accommodate y'all as best we can. Now, you spent some time in Star Wars outside of the Mandalorian armor in various roles. You were an officer in Empire Strikes Back, shoving Carrie Fisher around, and also Revenge of the Sith. You were on set there with Jimmy Smits. But what was it like being out of that armor? Was the armor particularly restrictive, and this was like a breath of fresh air, or how was it for you?
It was restrictive. I mean, it was never comfortable. That whole uniform was terrible. As Boba Fett, it was cutting into you everywhere. But you're filming. That's it. Get on with it. And I gradually got used to it, and I thought, yeah, this is cool. I like this. But it took several days just to, you can't sit down in it, or it's very difficult. Boba Fett's not someone who just sits down with a beer. Oh, sorry, I mentioned the beer again. Sitting down, cigarette or something, or a cigar. He wouldn't do that.
Now, I imagine being in the armor on Cloud City was much more preferable to those shots on Tatooine and Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it had to have been just stifling hot inside that armor. I can't even imagine.
But what you do is just say, I'm fine, and you make yourself quite relaxed, and then they call you over and say, Jeremy, can you on stage, please? Thanks. And just crossing over would make you drip with sweat. It was very uncomfortable, but something that I've got this small part of a couple of lines, and I'm dressed up. It looks quite good. There's a funny jetpack. I wasn't too aware of what it meant. But, that was the start for me, and I thought, oh, this is great. My kids will think it's cool. So here I am.
Well, actually, millions of fans, considering that Boba Fett only had a couple of lines, they just adore and worship Boba Fett. In fact, now there's a theory, actually this has been around for a while, that Boba Fett survived Return of the Jedi, and he crawled his way out of the Sarlacc Pit. And now there's a rumor floating around that one of the standalone movies done by Lucasfilm will now be a Boba Fett movie. Now, I'm not going to ask you for details on that because I don't want, Disney snipers and assassins to come after you. But I do want to know your opinion. Do you believe that Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc Pit?
Yes. I think he would. He wouldn't stay down there where he's been kicked down into the Sarlacc Pit. And somehow he's managed to crawl out. That's what we see. So, you just wait. Does he get out? Does he fall in again? Does he get out? No, he must get out. I think he's too good a character. And whoever plays him next, I think it will be, I hope they do a spin-off. Because it's such a fun part, It's like again, we go back to the Western thing. He'd get out, firing guns, and he'd be back on land.
Boba Fett the gunslinger.
Yeah. Boba Fett the gunslinger.
Oh, I love that. And actually, you did the voice, which is fantastic. That was you doing the voice in Empire Strikes Back.
No, just then. I mean, there's been a whole mix-up. I said, look, it doesn't matter. They said, did you do the voice of Boba Fett? I said, well, yes, when you're filming, but gradually the filming was done by an American actor, which in a way it sounded really good. So I'm not really worried about what happened, and people keep going on saying, why didn't you do the voice? I said, well, perhaps it was a bad day. I don't know. But, you carry on, you do the thing. I enjoyed every second of being on it, and I was in the theatre as well as filming. So I had two jobs going at once. And when I got to the studio, I was just as excited as being in a play, a theatre play up in the West End. But being Boba Fett was just a fun thing. And my kids thought they're children now. They think, hey, Dad, you're quite cool. I might talk to you now.
Oh, now they'll talk to you. Now they will. Now, the death of Boba Fett is kind of mired in a little bit of controversy because he got knocked into the Sarlacc Pit by a blind Harrison Ford with a stick. And considering the cool factor, that's essentially what happened to him. But there was rumor that what was supposed to happen was that Boba Fett and Han Solo would meet up on Endor and have a more climactic fight, with Boba Fett coming after Han Solo. Was there any truth to that? Was there a draft at some point that had a showdown between y'all on Endor?
No, nothing at all. You heard nothing at all about that. It was when there's the piece in the scene when he says, Boba Fett, where? So they're aware that he's around. He's going to come out with guns blazing. But that didn't happen. But I think it's great that there's still more to be seen. I hope they do a lot more, well, with the standoff movie or spin-off. There's lovely bits for Boba Fett, so I look forward to seeing that.
And just in case Kathleen Kennedy is listening to this particular broadcast, we are saying we hope there's a movie, and there might be. We're not we're not going to go there, I promise.
No, it's best. I think it's always best to just see what happens with a film. Some films get cut halfway through. We've got to they've redone the whole thing. It can happen here in England. A lot of television stuff, they reroute it. It's not working, so they do it quickly. But I had one of the most wonderful times. That's a long time ago, and it's extended. You go to Disney to see the kids there, and they go, God, it's Boba Fett. Oh no. Well, it is Boba Fett, but he's just pretending at the moment.
Well, in the new movie, in The Force Awakens, Carrie Fisher was back, Harrison Ford was back, Tim Rose, Lawrence Kasdan, Ben Burt, they all came back for this one. And they even gave some hidden roles. Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper. Simon Pegg was in there. Were you offered a cameo in the movie?
No, I was away anyway, but no, I wasn't offered a part.
Okay, well,
it didn't matter because I just think it's whatever you did, it was lovely. I'd like to have done a scene in the new movie in the cantina drinking champagne and then drifting off.
That was my follow-up question was, would you rather be a first order officer or a resistance officer if you were offered a cameo? But I think that's better. You're just sitting there, you're just having a pint.
Yeah, having a pint or something like that. No, it would be nice to have done something, but if you don't, it's happened on other films and television repeats come through and they reroute that again and they say, we've got this piece, Jeremy, will you do it? And I said, yes, of course. You know, there was such a lovely atmosphere about the whole thing, the whole series of films. Terrific.
It seemed like all the behind-the-scenes work that we saw, y'all just seemed like one big happy family together, especially by the time Return of the Jedi rolled around. Everybody just seemed so happy to be working together.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the dark side.
Now, sir, you have a terrific career that goes back 58 years now on both film and TV.
A lot of it is theatre.
Oh, and the theatre.
15 and moved to tour all around England, tour abroad with different plays and things. And then I went into the West End for 3 years and then moved to another play. So I was crushed with different, and I was doing a play at one stage as well as filming. So it was very tricky to do, but I managed to do it.
Well, what advice would you give those that are trying to get into what they call showbiz, whether they're going to be actors or writers or even prop makers? What advice would you give them?
I think if you have that will in you and you say, I'd love to make this prop, I know I can do it better than a piece of paper and a bag. I can much better, and you've got to keep on. You mustn't suddenly pull up and say, I can't do that. It's not me. Same with actors. You know, keep going. You'll be plucked out. If they want you, they'll take you. So you've got to just go, no, I'm going to do it. That's it. I can do this absolutely spot on. If I can't, they'll soon tell me. And the thing is to keep going. Don't give up. If you want to give up early and let someone else do it.
That's outstanding advice. I mean, you just keep going. That's an excellent slogan because there are so many people that just quit at the first sign of adversity.
Oh, I mean, the amount of people on a Monday morning at the start, and you go around shaking hands saying, hello, how are you? I'm Jeremy, playing David. And it's, oh, really? You're playing, oh, that's interesting. And there's a mumbled chatter, a cup of coffee. And by 5:30 in the evening, he said, I can't do, I'm not doing this. It's not me. But at least you've done it on the first day and the actor decides to quit. So that's it.
Very true. Okay. Well, Jeremy Bulloch, you'll be in San Antonio here at the end of the month, coming back to South Texas one more time for the Alamo City Comic Con. I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to say hello. I'm going to keep an eye out and try to find a Boba Fett cowboy belt for you. We'll see if we can make that happen for you. But looking forward to seeing you, sir.
Yeah, and thank you very much for the interview.
All right, thank you, sir.
What a fantastic interview that was. What a great guest. I mean, I learned so much from that. That was incredible. I love it. All right, so he'll be here in San Antonio at the end of the month for Alamo City Comic Con. Let's move on from Jeremy Bulloch, and let's talk about some DC news here, shall we?
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, save the people from...
Okay, so is Anna Kendrick of Twilight fame and Pitch Perfect fame going to be Robin in The Batman with Ben Affleck? This rumor came about because she insisted that she get the part back in August, and now the Joe Manganiello, who's playing Deathstroke, took a picture with her with the caption of hashtag Deathstroke and hashtag Robin. And no, it's all a joke. It was a bit they were doing for MTV. In fact, her quote is, quote, "We couldn't have been more obviously joking." But yeah, it's cool people were taking it seriously, I guess. Thank you, Anna Kendrick, for that. Cute looking girl. No, don't get me wrong, but yet not going to be your Robin at all.
If they ever did decide to put her as the Dark Knight Returns Robin, I'd be okay with it, but I want to see Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake first.
Yeah, I want to know where those guys went first. All right, so Supergirl, and Gotham. People are already starting to compare the two because Gotham, their season finale pulled 3 1/3 million viewers. Supergirl finished with 2 2/3 million viewers, not bad. Supergirl made its debut onto the CW after switching from CBS, and the numbers were a bit closer, but Gotham is still the more watched show. Not by much, but it is definitely there. Now, in the season trailer, coming up on season 2 here for Supergirl, there was a nod to Gotham when there's people in distress and they say, "We're going to move back to Gotham." Wait a minute. Does that mean that Gotham exists in the same universe now as Supergirl? Probably not. It's just a little dig. It's just a little ha-ha. We're moving back to Gotham because, Gotham's overrun with crime, and Metropolis is supposedly not, but they're just having a little bit of fun with you.
That was National City, not Metropolis.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're correct. Thank you very much. In fact, Supergirl herself said, when asked about a crossover idea, she said, "I don't even know if that will ever be possible. But how funny would that be? I think it's always funny to meet someone, see someone like Kara, or someone like Barry Allen, meet characters that are so dark and brooding with a lot of demons. I think that their sunny disposition juxtaposed with that would be hilarious. I would love it, but I don't know if it's possible." Now, it's always possible. You can't rule anything out because DC has done crossovers before. But to have something like Supergirl in a Gotham crossover, I don't see that happening.
However, there will be Supergirl, Flash, and an Arrow crossover in January.
That's true. They're going to do a multi-cross crossover. It's criss-cross kind of cross.
So dark and brooding is kind of Arrow's thing.
They're going to make him jump, I guess. Crisscross.
Well, I think that's what's going to bring Supergirl into the Arrowverse. So
yes, more likely that'll do it. And so they do that. But I think the two shows right now are doing well enough on their own to where they don't need a crossover. They don't need to bring them into their own universe. Now, if this were Marvel, I actually would believe it more with Marvel because Marvel is building this 60-character library that they have to have in order to do the Infinity Wars. But right now, DC's not building that much toward the Justice League movies. The buildup is starting, but it's not as intense as what Marvel's going through right now. So I don't think that that's going to happen at any point. So no Anna Kendrick. Don't believe the rumors. Don't believe the hype. In fact, if you're going to believe anything, you believe the news you get from mygeeksnews.com, because the news you get from there is updated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's never clickbait. It is always legit news sources. Variety, Entertainment Weekly, coming straight from Lucasfilm, coming straight from Disney. It all is legit. That's where you find your legit news. So just don't fall for clickbait. Just don't do that, please. Just no. Okay, so that covers our bit of DC news there. So we heard from Jeremy Bulloch. Fascinating interview. That's some really good insight into the Boba Fett character. Coming up afterwards in the second half of the show, after the news break here, I'm going to review the PSVR, the long-awaited Sony PlayStation virtual reality headset. I'll give it my full review here coming up after the break. And we got some Marvel news we want to touch on as well, including we're going to react to the Logan trailer. So we'll be back right after the bottom of the hour news break here on 9:30 a.m. and 930amtheanswer.com. All right, welcome back to Get Your Geek On. Thank you for coming back from the bottom of the hour news break here on 9:30 a.m. and 930amtheanswer.com. If you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, thank you very much for that. If you're listening to us via Facebook Live, I wave, I salute, I say thank you at facebook.com/GYGO official. If you're listening to us via the podcast at 930amtheanswer.com, we appreciate that also. Thank you very much. Okay, so in the first half, we had Jeremy Bulloch as our guest, the Boba Fett, the Mando of Mandos. Terrific guest. That was a lot of fun. We also talked about whether or not Anna Kendrick was going to be the not boy wonder, the kind of boy wonder, as Robin in the Batman movie. Also wondered if Supergirl was going to do a crossover with Gotham, and Supergirl herself sounded off on that one. But now we're going to do something very fun. Last week, we did a live reaction video to the trailer for Rogue One. That's what I was trying to get out. And it was a lot of fun. Not one of us here in the studio had seen the trailer, and so we were in awe, and we loved it. And it was a lot of fun. It really was. That video had so many views. Y'all loved watching that one.
It broke your Think Geek video.
Did it? I didn't.
Last time I checked, it was at 1.6K.
Wow, 1,600 views. Okay, then. So we're going to do it again. We are going to watch the Logan trailer, which dropped on Thursday. We're going to watch that here, and we have no idea what it's going to be like.
No.
We're going to see. It's going to be our reactions to this. I've heard some interesting things about it.
You're going to play the music first, though, right?
Yes. So let's go ahead and let's play the theme, and let's start talking some Marvel.
This is that sequel to the smash hit with no equal. This one's for the true fans with Hulk hands and action figures. Flying, dining, saving you all in the city. Got masks on and weapons out. You won't like the Hulk when he's angry.
Alrighty. All right, so I'm good now. I've got my hat. I am prepped. I'm good to go. I am ready to watch the Logan trailer. All right, so here we go. Can you slide back or forward? Wait, maybe I can. Okay, there we go.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Charles, the world is not the same as it was.
The world's never the same.
Mutants. They're gone now.
What?
I hurt
Gone? Gone how?
Ooh, I love this one.
Johnny Cash.
Oh, there's a lot of scars.
How come they're not healing?
Because he's old.
I focus
So am I.
on the pain.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, he's old.
Yeah.
The only thing
Everybody's old.
Well, yeah. If Logan's old.
The movie is called Logan.
She's
He's
like
old.
you.
of time
Very much like you.
Is that X-23?
Possibly.
disappear.
I'm just glad they got Charles in it.
Help.
You are
Someone will come along.
God, he's old.
Someone has to
Holy
come
cow.
along.
I know. There's a lot of Charles in it.
still right here. And you could have it.
Don't spin him around too hard. He's old.
Whoa, who's that?
My empire of dirt.
Whoa.
I will let you down.
Okay, this is a superhero.
This is-
Have we even seen the claws yet?
No.
Oh,
There we
okay,
go. There we
there's
go.
one. Okay.
Oh,
there's- okay.
Oh, it's go time.
Well, now we're talking.
I would
Ooh.
find
Oh,
a way.
that's it?
You still have time.
Is that...
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Logan.
That's it?
March 3rd.
Uh-huh.
It's the first trailer, for Pete's sake.
Okay, well, my gut instinct, reaction, right off the top, without thinking about it, without breaking it down or critically analyzing or whatever,
Yeah.
it looks like a docudrama. It looks like a drama, a family drama of some type, like it belongs on the Hallmark Channel or Lifetime Network, or it's a man and his mentor seeking out the girl that desperately needs their help.
Well, apparently on Thursday, I was assigned homework.
Yes, you were.
So I'm going to, thank goodness for the Marvel Unlimited app, so I don't actually have to buy it. I'm going to go through the Old Man Logan series, the mini-series first, and then the series up to the point.
Okay.
And we're going to compare the movie in March.
I'm sure it'll be spot on, too, because you know how these movies are. They're spot on with the books.
because there's shared universes everywhere in the movies. So that's my homework assignment. But Logan's movies, Wolverine's movies, have never been like the regular X-Men movies. They've always been a little bit more
introspective.
Introspective.
Yeah.
Because Logan,
I was going to go with not as good, but
Logan, for better or for worse, is kind of like the Batman of the Marvel Universe. He's kind of reserved. He tries to kind of stay out of trouble, but when he's mad, when you get him going, oh dear Lord,
yeah, that's true. That's very true. I just look at it, and you see Logan, and he's laying his head down in her lap, and they're holding hands, and there's the trees and the sunlight all around them, and it doesn't. And like you said, these movies, the Logan movies in particular, are not your standard superhero movies, but this just doesn't feel like a superhero movie. It feels like a Lifetime Network movie.
Give it time. We only saw one fight.
I'm going to give it time. I mean, this is, like I said, this is my gut instinct, my initial rush to judgment, because we're on the spot here. Now, my stance has always been to give it time and to see how things develop. That's always been my stance. But since we're doing live radio here and we want to take a look at this trailer, that's just how I feel. I look at it and I'm like, okay.
And I forgot to say this, so if you are confused about what we're talking about, because I didn't do my job properly for our radio audience as well as our podcast audience. What we were looking at was on the 20th Century Fox channel. It was the Logan official trailer HD. So go to the 20th Century Fox channel, Logan official trailer HD, rewind the podcast, or if you're listening to radio, download the podcast and go there with us one more time.
Now, from what I heard, the international trailer, which I haven't seen yet, that has more, I think, Wolverine-ish aspect to it. There's more violence and more gore, more blood.
I think we found our segment for next week.
I think we did too. Because one trailer at a time, if you don't mind. Speaking of some other Marvel news, let me get to this real quickly also. The Guardians of the Galaxy trailer and poster was released. And the trailer itself was a teaser. It actually gave out fewer details than this trailer did. And basically all it did was it just showed the characters in various forms. There are a couple of jokes in there. There was Mini Groot, which was just as adorable as can be.
Mini Groot by Funko.
Yeah, exactly. No, believe me, there are going to be so many Mini Groot toys that'll be sold. It'll be killer. Now, the first movie shocked a lot of people. The analysts underestimated it by 23% of the box office. Now, the analysts are usually right on because they've been studying this stuff just forever, and they're usually pretty close on where their box office expectations are, but not with Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was the first original, not sequel, Marvel movie since Avengers.
Yes, it was. And not a lot of people had heard of this. I mean, unless you're a hardcore fan, you didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy was, which I think is why the analysts were surprised when it made $773 million worldwide. That is, it had a higher domestic gross than Thor, the Winter Soldier movie, Iron Man, and Iron Man 2.
Well, and at that point, it was people who didn't come along for Iron Man. And so this is a chance for them to get in on the ground floor of a part of the franchise.
Yes.
So they didn't want to go back and rewatch all the other movies to catch up. It's like, oh, finally, I get to see something with my friends that nobody else has seen before.
That's true. And it looked like a fun movie. They kind of put the soundtrack out there, and it seemed lighter. Like, okay, this is a funnier, more lighthearted Marvel movie, which it was. I mean, in my office, I mean, we're always playing, Ooga Chaka, Ooga, Ooga, Ooga Chaka. We're always playing that. It's a neat little song and everybody just loves it. So the trailer comes out and it's a teaser. It was cute. It was funny. It was just fine. When the second movie comes out, though, I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be massively huge. I think it'll crack $1 billion.
From your mouth to Disney's ears.
Well, here's the big question, and I want to ask the people in the chat this as well, people who are watching us here on Facebook Live. Hello. I want to know, what's going to be a higher grossing movie, Rogue One, which is a Star Wars standalone movie, or Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Take your time.
Yeah,
go through that one, because Rogue One's going to be a standalone. It'll attract Star Wars. It'll attract Star Wars fans, but will it bring in
Rogue One?
Well, really, you think so?
I do.
You don't think?
For the same reason that Guardians did what it did. It's the first standalone movie.
I think it's going to hurt it, though.
Non-sequel since 1980.
Yes, but here's the thing, though. But here's the thing about that is, I think the casual moviegoer is not going to go see Rogue One. I think the Star Wars fans will definitely turn out for it, and they may see it. Repeated viewings will certainly help. But I think that the people who turned out for The Force Awakens because it was Star Wars and they hadn't had it for the first time in 10 years will look at Rogue One and say, Netflix. But people who saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie and let the hype build are now going to say, oh man, I need to see the second movie now. I think more people may go to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
If they have a crossover in a trailer, so an Avengers character in the trailer, you're probably right.
Yeah, that could be. All right, so here we have people chiming in here. Mike Clemens Jr. says Guardians of the Galaxy. Billy Ross, Guardians of the Galaxy. Steve Schinder, Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I'm thinking Sean says Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Well, actually, Sean Batson has chimed in, and he says he confirmed my theory, and he said, I will wait till Rogue One hits Blu-ray. So not even,
which would be 28 days before Netflix.
Yeah, no kidding. Just be about right. So, so there we go. We are hearing from the people there. I think that's the way it's going to run. It'll be very interesting to see how that pans out. What also pans out pretty well is this new promotion that Laser Legend has going on. Laser Legend up on 1604 and Lookout Road on the north side of town. Indoor mini golf, indoor 2-story laser tag, and a wonderful arcade, which, by the way, I just got the second and third place highest scores on their Star Trek pinball game. So if you see the initials WOW, those are mine. Wow, get it? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's my score. You go up to Laser Legend and try to beat my score, because I had to work my keister off to get up that high. They have a new promotion as well. It's called the 777 promotion. For $7, you get 1 hour of unlimited activities. Now, that's not unlimited arcade play. Let's not go crazy. But you can do unlimited mini golf, unlimited laser tag. For $14, so that's 7.7, you get 2 hours. And for $7.77, you get 3 hours of unlimited activity play over at Laser Legend.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
When you got the second highest score
on
that pinball game,
yes,
did music play?
No.
Dang.
No. But
well, I tell you what I'm going to do.
No, you're not.
Because music did not play for you, I want to congratulate you now.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Dang it.
Wait until I get the first place. When I get first place score, then you can play it.
Okay.
Okay, because second place is the first loser. And you know who said that? Ricky Bobby's dad.
That movie's banned in my family.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's if you ain't first, you're last. Well, close enough. Yeah,
that movie's banned in my family.
But that's so many truisms in that movie, like if you ain't first, you're last. So when I get first place on that pinball machine game over at Laser Legend, then we can play it.
So you're never going to play it again just to keep that music from being played?
Dang it, you figured it out.
How about if I get first place?
Yeah. You're not going to get first place.
You don't know.
There's no way. Okay, alrighty. So with that being said, with that being talked about already, we want to go ahead and get into my Sony PlayStation VR review. So let's talk some video game news. Okay, so Sales figures have not really been released yet after the Sony PlayStation VR came out. However, according to NeoGAF, which is an analyst company that looks at this sort of thing, PlayStation VR clocked in and sold over 50,000 units in Japan in their opening day. Meanwhile, PlayStation VR Worlds is now listed at number 8 for October 10th through the 16th sales, beating out FIFA 17, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. Speaking to CNBC, Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe President and Chief Executive, God, now that's a job title, Jim Ryan reportedly said that launch sales for the device will be, quote, in the many hundreds of thousands. He didn't go into any specifics, but did state that interest in the device was significant based on pre-order data. PSVR is currently sold out at many retailers, with Amazon UK not expecting to be caught up on their logjam until December.
So did that come with a Superman action figure? Because when Batman vs. Superman came out, Amazon couldn't do that either.
They couldn't do that either. Many experts believe that they could sell as many as 2.6 million VR units by the end of 2016. Wow. So if you've been listening to the show for a while, you can go back to our podcast at 930amtheanswer.com, and you can listen to me harping on VR for quite a while. I have been pro VR for pretty much ever since it came out. Not Virtual Boy. I'm not going back that far. But I mean, the Google Cardboard and the Oculus Rift and all that sort of stuff. I had an Oculus VR set. It was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I went out and I bought the launch bundle, the last one Best Buy had, my local Best Buy, and I got the Sony PSVR, and I picked up a few games. So here's my review on it.
So you unboxed it live on Facebook.
Oh, yes, I did, as a matter of fact. I did a live unboxing, and I showed everybody every little piece and everything like that, which you can find on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGOofficial. Just go under videos, off on the left-hand side there. You'll find the unboxing video. Yes, it's backwards. I'm sorry. I used the front camera instead of the back camera, and so everything's backwards. What are you going to do?
That was your first time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
You weren't warned.
I'm working on it. All right, so here's the deal. Here's what I found out about the PSVR. It's kind of a pain to set up. They initially said that the great thing about it was plug and play. Yeah, what they didn't say was that it came with 7 cables, and that you have to plug them all in. So it's plug and play 7 times. And, well, you got to plug the HDMI port cable into this port over here, but not that HDMI port over there. It's got to be the right kind of HDMI port. And so you're going to spend 15 minutes trying to figure out which one is the right port. It was a pain to set up. I'm not going to lie. And if you're into cable management and making it not look like a rat's nest, good luck. It is just, wow, it's a real pain. You got this receiver, which plugs into your PlayStation. Well, that's great, but the receiver has ports on either side of it, front and back, that need to have cables running into it. So no matter which way you turn it, you're going to have cables sticking out of some end that's just going to look bad. Sorry about that.
That's no bueno.
It's not really the most solid design they could have gone for, but whatever, I'll stick it under a table or something, I guess, and that'll go with it. It was complicated setting it up. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit of a pain. It took me probably about 30 minutes, I think, to get it all set up and ready to go. And then you get these 2 little wands, these little glow wands, right, that represent your hands when you're playing virtually. Yeah, they don't come charged. Now, most things you get out of the box, you get like half a charge. Yeah, no, these things were 100% dead. So I didn't get to use them.
So are they like lithium-ion batteries, or are they just like rechargeable AA's?
I think they're just rechargeables. Well, although to be honest, I don't know, because I just plugged them in and just left them there overnight. But
okay.
But still, that was kind of annoying, because in order to really get into the immersive part of the experience, like for the Batman VR game, you need those wands. You can do the controller, but you're just a dude playing with the controller. If you have the wands and you hold the wands up while you're in virtual reality, they're your hands. They are Batman's hands. And that was pretty nifty. So take a little bit off my review for that. All right. So once you get in, the headset itself is actually really comfortable. It's not heavy. It's not front heavy like the Oculus is. Because when the Oculus, you have to plug your phone into the front, and your head is starting to dip a little bit because that's where all the weight is. But this thing fits rather comfortably, and it does really well with the blinders, blocking out the added light. It's these little rubber flaps that fit really well onto your face and help block out all the light.
Cool.
So first game I played, Batman VR. Plugged it right in. Yes, give me some Batman VR. The game itself, the graphics are fantastic. Really fantastic.
PS4, I would expect.
But if you're expecting a fighting Batman game, you're going to be disappointed. This is not a fighting Batman game. There is, in fact, little to no action that goes on. You play more of the detective role than you do the fighting role. And the ending, I will say this, the ending in VR, no spoilers. I'm not going to do spoilers. But the ending in VR is extraordinarily creepy. Because some things don't happen until you turn a certain direction and you get to see a certain thing. And the game won't proceed with that. And when it does, it's a jump scare every time.
I have a question that's kind of spoilerish, but not really.
Actually, hold that thought for a second, because Sean Batson wants to know, can any of the VR sets be played when you're wearing glasses? Yes, absolutely they can, including the PlayStation VR. Everyone in my family wears glasses, and everyone can play that headset.
So, is Mark Hamill in the Batman Arkham VR game?
Yes, he is.
Yay. That kind of sells it right there.
Yes, he is. The game itself lasts maybe an hour, hour and a half, which sucks, but it is a great game. It's worth a play. I will say that. Would you consider it kind of replayable? Are there different aspects, different directions you could go in the game? I think the ending is definitely... because it's so immersive. You are there in Arkham Asylum. You are there. In fact, one of the cool things is, and this is what kind of sucks about radio a little bit, is that we want to move. I can't show you this, but because it comes with a PlayStation camera, when you take a step forward in real life, Batman takes a step forward. So if you're on the edge of a building and you take a step forward, you can go right up to the edge of the building and look down. So when Michael Keaton gets one, he can actually say something true. He's Batman. I also played Eve Valkyrie, which is a spaceship game. Again, fantastic, very immersive. I was able to fly under this huge hulking battle cruiser, and I can look up while I'm flying underneath it, and I can look up, and there it is above me. You do barrel rolls in that thing, and yeah, you get a little wobbly, a little woozy. So all in all, it's a fantastic headset. I do recommend it. I highly recommend it. No, you can't come over to my house to play it because nobody knows where I live, and that's how I want to keep it. Except for Goose. Goose is cordially invited. That's awesome. Alrighty, so with that being said, let's get to everyone's favorite segment and throw someone to the Sarlacc Pit.
What's going on? We just got to the Sarlacc Pit. What's that? It's this disgusting, horrible creature that's worse than anything you could ever imagine.
I swear, this segment goes by so fast, man. Whoa, gracious.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Who are we throwing in here? Alex Green wants to throw in the Martin College Melbourne, Australia campus for putting me 42 study units behind. Uh-oh. So I'm not sure how that happened, if they messed with his transcript or whatever, but take the college and put him in. Joshua Vick wants to throw in 2 individuals whom I work with. He's tired of fixing all of their poodoo. That's Star Wars for... Poodoo. Yeah. All right, put him in. Jason Brady in San Antonio wants to throw in Alex Trebek for bashing on nerdcore rap. Can't. Oh, celebrity. Yeah, I can't do it. All right, well, we'll do it in spirit.
I'm trying to keep to the rules.
Charles Keller up in Manitoba has a good one. People who whip past school buses that are stopped along the highway. Yes. Look, guys, the red lights are flashing. Give the school buses... I mean, they're going to be stopped for like 2 minutes. It's like 2 or 3 minutes at the most. You can afford 2 or 3 minutes to just stop for them. So,
and if you can't, get up earlier.
Exactly. So go ahead and put them in also. Goose, who do you want to throw in?
The guy who's currently at number 1 in the Star Trek game.
Yes, absolutely. You stole my thunder, man. Whoever's number 1 on the Star Trek pinball game up at Laser Legends. Laser Legend.
Yes, because I get to play my music when Dave's number 1. Hold on. If I throw him in, does that make you number 1 at that point?
What does it take to be number 1?
Yeah. But when I throw him in, does that make you number 1 by default?
No, I have to earn the spot. Okay. Got to earn the spot. So take that person and put him in. I want to throw in whoever it was that when I leave the office, there's a stoplight right outside the office. And I get behind somebody in the right-hand lane. I'm getting ready to turn right to get onto I-10. And sure enough, the light turns yellow. And the guy slams on his brakes. Keep in mind, he's about 2 car lengths. And the instant it turns yellow, he slams on his brakes and goes to a full stop before it's even, like, it's still like another second or two before it goes red. And then, guess what? He doesn't turn right.
Yeah, that's not what
That's
that
fantastic.
means.
So there's a line of cars, like 85 cars behind him there. Thanks a lot, dude. So take that person and put him in. Gracious. Okay, all right. So that'll go ahead and wrap it up here. That's the fastest hour on radio. I swear it is.
Especially
all right.
when we have a pre-taped interview for half of it.
Yeah, no kidding. Special thanks to Jeremy Bulloch for being our guest this week. Amy Jo Johnson was our guest last week.
Yeah, she was.
Next week, we will have 2 cosplayers in studio ahead of the Alamo City Comic-Con. Special thanks to Goose and to Peter, wherever you may be, for all that you do.
I don't think he's going to miss the cosplayer section.
Yeah, probably not, no. So everyone make sure to stay geeky and get your geek on every single day.